Hi everyone, welcome to my Shoreline Studio. I'm Sybille Muschik. Today we're continuing on with things like doors, and in this case we're getting into doorknobs. So I have this lovely image of a doorknob on an old door. Lots and lots of texture. Of course we're continuing with texture as well. And we're going to do this as a transfer. And I've found so far that the colored photographs for my printer works better than the black and white. So as long as you have lots of contrast, it will work. So we're going to start with black. And we're going to cover the plate. Not too much paint as before, but not too little either. So up and down, and then across. That gives you the best coverage. So that's looking good. Maybe just at the top here. Do this fairly quickly because your paint dries fairly quickly. Line it up, put it down, brayer the back with your baren. I'm not sure what other term you could use. Rubbing. Rubbing is good. And let's see if we get our doorknob. And we do. Nice. So we're going to let that dry and then put on a release coat. So now we're going to consider what paint we're going to use for the release coat. Now I enhanced the color. This is another image of the doorknob since we sort of covered the other piece with paint. And we have this sort of nice browny red, sort of a burnt sienna kind of color. So we could probably mix for that. I have some burnt umber, some orange, maybe a little bit of violet. That's up in here, you know, lots of those colors are there. It dries very quickly, so you can just carry on. So let's do the light stuff up here. A little bit of this nice color that's about there. And maybe a little bit of yellow. See these highlights on the doorknob? Let's keep that in this section. Okay, that should be interesting. Again, work fairly quickly. Lurid colors. Looks a bit lurid right now, but it'll be fine once we get that. Now you just want to be able to see the image. Once it starts appearing. There's a little bit too much paint here for sure. We don't want to lose any of the detail on the doorknob. Ah, now it's starting to appear. And it's okay to have the violet there. It's sort of in shade. Violet is a good color for a shade color. And I think we're there. Make sure that's nice and flat when you put it down. And we're rubbing the back of the paper to make sure we get all the image. Again, don't leave it too long or the paper will stick. And then you have white spots. But it should come up pretty nice. look at that. That's awesome. Okay. So this is a little funky here, but that's okay. We'll work with that. There's some wood texture that we can put in there. But look at how nice that is. That's awesome. Okay. Fine. Now, we will turn the print upside down. So that I sort of know where things are. Everything reverses, don't forget. And we'll turn the light table on. So of course you could do this against a window if you don't have a light table, but you'll have to tape it really well. Otherwise things might drop on your toes. The plate's fairly heavy. This is a 8 by 10 plate. So I can see, you know, where everything is pretty well. It would probably help to clean the plate a little bit. So I'm going to go with my golden open paints now because we're going to do some drawing. And I have a little drawing tool. It's just a little rubber tipped, little sort of like a spatula end here. And so we're trying to keep it fairly, this is Naples yellow, is fairly opaque, so we're going to have to be careful. I don't want to cover anything up too much. So we're going to be adding some nickel azo gold to it. This stuff is worth the price of an elephant. And some burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is also a little on the opaque side. So what we are going to do is add a little bit of the medium. This is the open thinner. And we're just going to roll some of this out. I'm just rolling it in a circle so that we can, and the nickel azo gold keeps everything fairly transparent. And if I get enough of it on there, I'm just going to run it over this section as well, and all the way across. I'm going to take off a little bit more off where the doorknob is so it stays really bright. And the thinner will keep the open paints even more available. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit off there. Okay, if we have a bit of texture there. And maybe do a little bit of outlining here. And I think there's a keyhole. I'm going to take the paint off there as well. Just want that to be really prominent. The thing about doors and doorknobs is that doors are kind of mysterious things, you know, they lead to places, they're often used as metaphors and romanticized or, you know, dangerous if you're going into a cellar or something. Okay, so we're going to be doing some wood grain. So I guess lines and circles. Just sort of. Josh, what's the wood that has the most kind of gnarly things? Is it oak?
Yeah, oak is pretty, has a lot of pattern to it.
Yeah. Maple's pretty good too, right? Yeah. Gnarly bits. Whorls and Norls. There's sort of a line here. Let's work with that. And more lines, maybe some crossings, some spots, knot holes. Knot holes are fun. You don't want too much happening close to the doorknob, so just keep it interesting. Have fun with this. Just make it up as you go along. These tools are great. Anything else you might want to texture to, just outline the doorknob to make sure we have everything in hand here. And you're sort of doing it negatively because you're taking paint away, so it might reveal more of the blackness. We're going to be using the plate as a stamp. More funny bits hanging around. So turn it over to the proper side and line everything up. With the light box on, I can see fairly well where things are supposed to go, as long as I'm not sticking ahead of time. You couldn't put it in registration because of this business of having to put it upside down or underneath. But you can buy registration. I know Jelly Arts people are selling registration forms that just fit on the outside corner. You can make them yourself easily enough. And see what happens. So we've got some. Okay. We got a nice tone on there. Just going to take the light box off. A little bit of texture showing up, but not much. So do we need to add a bit more? I like the tone. The tone has become really nice. And would like just a little bit more texture there. Okay. What we're going to do is make sure we're in the right spot. And then I'm going to use just the burnt sienna, and then that should show up. I'm putting on my burnt sienna, and have to be really careful here because it's only in a very limited area. Or I could do it and just wipe it away from where I don't want it. Could do that. And maybe, while we're at it, we'll get doing the keys, which I had done in the last episode. I'm just going to very lightly, and we'll just take that away. We spent so much time creating these nice little knot holes and all that kind of thing. You could even, and I might consider doing that, is drawing these on. Drawing is good. A little bit of raw umber. And you have to add that medium to it. And it's adding a few extra lines. holes. Just a little bit over here. Okay, for the other side, we're actually going to use some key impressions. In the last episode, we talked about this. Now, I don't know if they'll show up. We'll give it a first run and see what happens.
There's a little bit of something on there.
A little bit of something.
In the middle. See that?
Oh, here? I think we're okay.
There.
Oh, there. Okay. I suppose a lot would just not print. Okay. Here's our line up our plate as far as we can do. And we'll see if our little keys show up. And we do. No. We do have to take the... Now, I don't think the camera is picking it up very well. But we'll post everything at the end, and then you'll see that it's really quite distinctive. And then as far as the keys, nope. No keys. But we will print those separately. So the keys are going to go there. So that's going to be on this side. And I'm just going to measure about there for keys. I'll mark it off. And we're going to just roll some paint on. This was a texture plate we did on the last session, so be sure and watch that episode to see how that's made. Now, which key fits that lock? The mystery of it. And of course, you know, you could add captions and things. This is just a demonstration to show you how to go about doing this kind of thing. And then, you know, use your own imagination to enhance or do what you need to do. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough paint yet. I think it's not going to show up, so I think we either have to do a light color or black. Maybe we'll do a black. It is sort of an obscure, in the basement kind of place. Didn't you just love stories about hidden passageways and secret doorways when you were growing up? I know I did. I just ate those books. Just devoured them. Spent many a happy summer tucked away in some little cubbyhole like this and reading. Now we'll see how our keys print. That's better. You can see them pretty good. Okay, lining up. You could do the study in a variety of colors, of course. You know, the door could have been green or red or whatever color you want. We'll see how that prints. All right. And there are some mystery keys here. And a little bit of mystery wood grain. So I'm reasonably happy with that. You don't. The doorknob is your center of interest, and all these other details are just texture to enhance that. So that's pretty good. What we can do is maybe try one of the stamps for this key, and that will really show up. This is that little sponge stuff that you just heat up and you press whatever you want in there. And that shows up pretty good. See on a plexiglass sheet, then you can hang on to it. And now that should print. So then you'll have obscure keys and in your face kind of keys. Oh, nice. All right. Yes. That works good. So there you go. So have fun with this. Unlock your creativity. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you another time. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget we also are posting stuff on Instagram, some extra work, and we'll catch you another time. Bye for now.